as we explore the science behind off-season baseball training.
When an athlete comes here, what they're looking for is a much more detailed approach and understanding of the physical tools that they're showing up with, and a real objective approach to developing those physical tools. Generally in elite sport, even at the very highest level, these athletes aren't treated as much like the individuals they are as they could be. And so if there's an area that we've really innovated or we've let out, it's been in this objective, data-based understanding of how athletes move, how their physical systems are put together, and precise prescriptions derived from that assessment.
Everything should have a reason why you're prescribing something to an athlete, whether it be the sets, the reps, the type of exercise you're giving, the rest period you're giving. Everything should have justification, and that comes down to a general principles and general knowledge of sports science. Going from our assessment, we try to get as much detail as we can right in the program, but then coaching the athlete from that going forward, so the next few days or the next week, we'll be able to get a little bit more information from just the coach's eye. It's a little bit of extra stuff that we sometimes can't get from technology.
The data collected here allows an athlete's performance to be measured in relation to previous assessments, guiding coaches to prescribe the best regimen possible, enabling athletes to maximize training during the 5-month off-season and to prepare for the grueling 162-game season ahead.
I first came to P3 when I was 12 years old. It's taught me about my body awareness. I came in here and kind of was like Bambi. I just didn't really know where my limbs were going, and now just to be able to feel like I have control of my body and understand what works and how to make it work best is kind of what they've taught me. This was my first full season last year, so it was really understanding the grind of 140 to eventually hopefully 162 games. You got to be in shape to be able to perform every day the way you want to, and I think having this full off season is going to be really big for me going forward.
He's a very fast twitch athlete, he's a very explosive athlete, so we need to get him a little bit stronger. There tends to be a good relationship between how successful we are as a hitter in baseball and body mass. So we need to put a little bit of body mass on him. So today we did an upper body session. There's some slightly higher volume stuff as well. It tends to coincide with trying to put a little bit more muscle mass with him. Near the end of the session, we also did a fair bit of stuff around the rotator cuff, around the scap as well, just to get a little bit of robustness around that shoulder, trying to make sure that we're ready for the season, so that shoulder is a little less susceptible to injury.
Also in this training session was Dylan Axelrod, a pitcher going into his 10th offseason using this technology.
Today was a single leg emphasis, and it's especially important for pitching because you're driving off one leg and you're landing on one leg. And something I need to work on is both my leg drive, like my lateral power, and as well as firming up on my stride leg.
So with Dylan, he's an older athlete, he has a very high training age, so we can sort of administer quite high volumes of training with him, and he can cope with it quite well. We find with his pitch mechanics, there's a few areas that we've been trying to work on. One is his stride length tends to be a little shorter compared to some of our other pitchers that throw at high velocities. But we also work on a little bit with Dylan where we're looking at firm up on that front foot. He tends to land on that front foot and then go into a little bit too much flexion in that front knee. Ideally, we want a sudden, abrupt break in that front leg to be able to efficiently transfer force to his pitching arm. And some of the exercises we did today, we did single leg clean, producing force on one leg and a clean, and then catching the bar in one leg, and he has to be really stable and stiff on that one leg when he's catching that bar.
It's not just doing squats and see how much weight you can move in here. It's very applicable to pitching and specifically to me, what I need to work on.
I feel like when athletes show up and they trust us with their physical performance, they kind of hand over the keys to us. We go to the nth degree. We turn over every stone to get this thing right for them. And we have insights from the data, from our technology interaction that clearly are positive in how we build programs around them. And when you take great care of something that's so important to someone, that's a basis for an amazing relationship.